Honor has parted from previous parent organization Huawei. However, the new Honor 70 still feels like a Huawei telephone. This is definitely not something terrible. Huawei made probably the best Android telephones of ongoing years before a US embargo implied it couldn't deliver new ones with Google administrations or the Play Store. Honor's telephone discharge recurrence in Europe took a thump, however, isn't essential for the boycott. It has been gradually remaking its market presence and utilization of Google administration by delivering magnificent gadgets like the Enchanted 4 Expert and presently the Honor 70, a mid-range telephone with strong execution, extraordinary cameras, and alluring plan. It simply feels like Honor is as yet playing it very protected where it needs to push on and separate itself from current adversary makers as well as the Huawei of old. Design: thin and tall, eye-getting camera plan, plastic form. Beginning with the staggering looks is as great a spot as any. The Honor 70 is a head-turner in a market where it's hard for section screen telephones to stick out. My survey unit arrived in a wonderful matte green completion that conceals fingerprints well overall. However, the most attractive variant is a reflexive silver one with precious stone example on the back. There's likewise a dark one, obviously. However, it looks and feels exceptional. The telephone is produced using plastic. As it were, I favor this to glass since it's doubtful to break whenever dropped. However, it implies it's more inclined to scratches and precludes remote charging. Two huge roundabout islands stick out the upper left of the telephone and house the triple cameras and blaze in a striking look. The telephone has a few message on the back with pointless camera specs and the vital EU exchange script. As usual, there's presumably it looks slicker with simply the organization logo. Some top-of-the-line telephones have bended presentations, yet the mid-range Honor 70 pulls out all the stops as well. I very like bended screens as they cause telephones to feel slimmer and smaller in the hand, similar to the case here. The volume rocker and power button sit on the flimsy right edge, with a USB-C port on the base close to the SIM plate and the sole mono speaker. The other is in the earpiece, simply over a midway position cutout selfie camera. This multitude of decisions on paper feel like cell phone 2022-101. However, the Honor 70 seems to be more than the amount of its parts. It's a plan I truly dig. One disadvantage, intense, is the absence of waterproofing when at this cost I'd expect essentially a splashproof rating. Screen and speakers: 6, 67 and bended OLED, 120 Hz, clear variety propagation. The telephone's 6, 67 and 1080x2400 OLED show is exceptionally enormous thanks to a tall 20:9 perspective proportion. I have little hands and tracked down it difficult to utilize. One gave for everything except unadulterated looking over or swipe composing at a push. Fortunately, the 120 Hz invigorate rate means such looking over is exceptionally smooth, yet it's not difficult to tell this is a less expensive board than the more costly Honor Enchantment 4 Ace or OnePlus 10 Master. Specs and execution: Snapdragon 778G plus 5G. 8 divided by 12 GB smash. Poor haptics. The Honor 70 runs the refreshed Snapdragon 778 plus 5G chipset, a little move forward from the 778 utilized in 2021's Honor 50. In my experience with the telephone, the chipset is bounty quickly enough. Applications open rapidly, and the UI is responsive thanks to the 8 GB smash. It chugged barely while playing very good quality games like Vital Mission at Hand Portable. However, for most ordinary cell phone use, virtual entertainment, light games, music, photographs, it's everything you will require. It's the degree of chip you can expect at the cost in 2022. 5G availability is raging its direction down the value groups to help basically every new telephone, so you get that here as well. Somewhat frustrating is the vibration haptics, which feels soft. Console criticism on less expensive telephones like the Google Pixel 6a is tight and cut. Honor's is buzzy and degrades the superior feel of the handset. Battery duration and charging: 4800 mAh, 66W wired charging, no remote charging. The £399 divided by €469 nothing telephone has demolished my assumptions for mid-range telephones by including remote charging. It hasn't arrived on the Honor 70, but rather it's on scarcely some other telephone in the mid-range, so I can't dump Honor excessively hard. The included wired charger squeezes the telephone up at its zippy 66W, charging it from void to 44% shortly, and to 77% in 30. A 4800 mAh battery in a mid-range telephone is cause for festivity. In the PC and print battery channel test, it endured 9 hours and 28 minutes. However, I viewed true battery duration as obviously superior to that figure recommends. The Honor 70 performs well indeed and can undoubtedly most recent daily even with weighty utilization. It will extend into 2 days in the event that you are a light client. And you can constantly return to the quick charging assuming you want to top up on days where you're taking lots of photographs or utilizing Google Guides to explore surefire battery mixers. Cameras: 54MP Sony IMX800, 50MP ultra-wide, no fax, 32MP selfie camera. The Honor 70 is the first cell phone to involve the Sony IMX800 sensor for its super 54MP camera focal point. What's the significance here? Incredible photographs, fortunately. On brilliant radiant days, it totally sings, with fantastic variety proliferation, strong unique reach, and great detail. There's genuinely great variety consistency between this principal focal point and the 50MP ultra-wide as well, which you don't frequently see on telephones costing this much. The super wide is additionally utilized for strong full-scale shots. Pleasant one, Honor. Be that as it may, the camera's admission less well in low light. Indeed, even shots in shadow as opposed to obscurity aren't delivered precisely, with a little turning gray to the general picture. In low light shots inside this is much more evident. On the in addition to side, I truly like the representation mode on the telephone. Helped by a 2MP profundity sensor, however you'll presumably need to switch off the irritating magnificence modes that are on naturally. There's no zooming focal point, so you should return to computerized zoom. I didn't, as it isn't perfect and photographs wind up seeming to be watercolors when you go past 2x. The 32MP selfie camera is strong for selfies and recordings, however battles in direct daylight, as large numbers of these little sensors tend to. You can swipe through the beneath slideshow to see pictures from all the Honor 70's focal point. Programming and updates. Enchantment UI 6.1 on Android 12. Just 2 years of Android refreshes. 3 years of safety refreshes. The Honor 70 has a similar programming look and feel of a Huawei or Honor telephone from 2 or so a long time back. It's essentially EMUI, Huawei's old programming. Following a couple of days with the telephone, I became familiar with it once more, however it feels somewhat dated. Despite the fact that it's running Android 12. The telephone feels more like it's on Android 10 since Honor hasn't changed a lot about Enchantment UI 6.1 or took on any of Android 12's cool theming choices, or more present-day plan taste.